So by now you have seen this clip of Flames $10.5 million AAV player Jonathan Huberdeau getting benched for the entire third period yesterday against the Nashville Predators. Now, the Preds ended up losing, the Flames won. Good for them. But when it comes to Jonathan Huberdeau, one of the most disappointing players of this season, I mean, you can't help but really feel for the guy, but at the same time, it's not really like he's done himself any favors. Huberdeau is 30 years old, as we had said, $10.5 million AAV guy till the end of 2030-2031. So there are still 7 more years of this player in Calgary to come. And this season, the guy has 6 points in 12 games played. 41-point pace. It's not the worst thing in the world, but compared to what he was before, consistently over a point per game, 90-point caliber guy, 115-point caliber guy 2 seasons ago, the decline of Jonathan Huberdeau in Calgary has been just so bizarre. Such an interesting thing to pay attention to. So, seeing Huberdeau exhibit the just terrible transition from Florida to Calgary, seeing him get benched in the prior game against the Nashville Predators here. He spent the entire third period on the bench, did not play a single second. It's gotta hurt. And that's all I'll say about that. I mean, you're a $10.5 million superstar, you're a 100-point caliber guy, and it's gotten so bad in 23-24 that you're not even seeing any ice time? Yeah, that's gotta sting. In fact, there was a pretty interesting conversation that I wanted to read on the Our Hockey subreddit, just going over why exactly this was the case here. Let's take a look at some of the comments made on the Our Hockey sub, understanding just why everything fell into place. It's stunning how far Jonathan Huberdeau has fallen. Before he got traded to Calgary, he had 4 straight seasons of being a point-per-game winger, including a 115-point season where he set records for points for a left winger and assists for a left winger. Let's see if we can zoom in. Does that make it look any better? Kinda. Okay, that's fine. I guess it goes to show how important chemistry is. I don't know. Can't remember a player who's had more of a complete crash like this with no injury. I feel terrible for him. Now, there is a conversation about Louis Eriksson afterwards, but we're not going to talk about that. That is a complete other thing here. But there are some interesting breakdowns as to what exactly has caused Huberdeau's game to tank in Calgary in this comment section. His zone entry tactics with his time in Florida were 1,000% different. He played a style that suited to his skill set. Calgary does not want to play it. Someone did a breakdown during that last Panthers year, and a ton of Jonathan Huberdeau's offense was off the rush, and the Flames system treats rush offense very different from that Panthers team. There's probably a degree of relatively one-dimensional offensive player in an unfavorable system, plus confidence issues. That was a difficult sentence to go out there and read. My gosh. But there are some other comments here. J-Talk says, with Mangiapane coming back next game, I honestly don't know where Huberdeau goes in the lineup. I have a hard time imagining him getting straight-up healthy scratched, but it's starting to look more and more like a possibility. He has just not been able to perform anywhere in the lineup. I'd imagine that being benched for an entire period is the equivalent of a healthy scratch when you're that caliber of a player. If he can't get it together after this, he's in trouble. It's gotta be worse, yeah. Sitting on the bench, dressed for work, and not being used. Worse than a healthy scratch. And to make things even more painful for Huberdeau, as we had talked about, the Flames won. They didn't even need him to escape this game with the dub. They just straight up were like, yeah, we're not going to use you. You're going to sit on the bench the entire period, and we're still going to win. 14:24 of ice time after 2 periods, 0 minutes in the third period. The guy has been a turnover machine. There were so many critiques of just how Jonathan Huberdeau has tried to facilitate offense as a member of this Calgary Flames squad. The play dies on his stick, the play doesn't progress forward. Let's go back over onto the Our Hockey sub, because there are some more comments breaking down what's been so bad. Here's the question, what's been so terrible with Huberdeau? Defensively bad too, or just can't finish, or isn't generating chances, giveaways? How can he be so noticeably bad? Hockey Psychology on YouTube did a really good yet brief breakdown of Huberdeau's play in Calgary versus Florida. It essentially boiled down to the system in Florida complementing his strengths so much better. Calgary's system is a lot more slow and not as rush-friendly as the Panthers is. At the same time, he doesn't really look like he's tried adjusting his game at all to fit in Calgary, which is evident in the video as there are literally countless clips of him making the same play at the blue line that always used to work with the Panthers system, even though it almost always leads to a turnover in the Flames system. Here's a comment by a Flames fan. It's not that he's not performing, it's that he's actively harming the team play. The play either dies on his stick or he's passing to the other team, and this is on top of not playing defense too. So for Jonathan Huberdeau, the systems in Florida versus the systems in Calgary have really not helped him out. Now, we did have the response from Huberdeau after the benching last night. It wasn't easy, I'm not going to lie. There's no pointing fingers. You've got to look in the mirror. I got to be a better player. I know I've got it in me. I still believe in myself. I just got to show it on the ice. And here's the thing as well that I wanted to talk about too, because after these comments were made, you had a whole bunch of Flames fans try to encourage the guy, going into the replies of this tweet, going over onto social media saying, yeah, we believe in Huberdeau, we kind of have to, he's a $10.5 million player, he was so good a few years ago, we kind of have no choice but to hope that he does better. But this comes into a very interesting contrast over the past few weeks. Because, and I really don't like talking about this kind of stuff because I don't really think it's appropriate, but if you go to Jonathan Huberdeau's Instagram page and you see some of the posts that were made recently, a whole bunch of the comments are going out there and just roasting this guy to hell and back. It's kind of ugly in his social media platform situations. Like, I don't want to show it here because there are a lot of usernames attached to private Instagram profiles that I don't want to put on YouTube, but like, there's a bunch of Flames fans from days past that have gone out there into Huberdeau's comment section and just lambasted the guy. Hey, why are you turning the puck over? Stop turning the puck over. Oh, you suck. This and that. $10.5 million bum getting paid to sit on the bench. Stuff like that. It's harsh. Really, really brutal stuff. And I will say, a little bit of my faith in humanity was restored because after Huberdeau made these comments, you saw a bunch more comments going over onto the social media pages where fans are saying things like, hey, we believe in you, Jonathan Huberdeau, you just gotta work through it. We'll be right behind you every step of the way. And again, it's not like the Flames fans have a choice. They don't. He's $10.5 million, and there's no way they're going to trade this guy away. You're not going to trade him away. You're not going to buy him out. There's no way Huberdeau is not lasting at least a few years of this $10.5 million AAV contract with a no-move clause on the Calgary Flames. He's going to be a Flame for a while, so you have no choice but to just hope that he ends up putting it together somehow down the line. He's going to need to really change the way he breaks into the zone, how he generates offense off the rush, and add a more dynamic style to his game that involves sustained offensive pressure in the zone that doesn't really rely too much on the rush chances. Like, he's got to be able to hold on to the puck a bit more and make more slower, methodical type of plays. That's kind of the style the Calgary Flames have embodied, and it very much differs from that of the Florida Panthers. So for Jonathan Huberdeau, he has officially responded to the benching situation in Calgary. It was tough to see for sure, but it is a necessary development in this story. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Huberdeau getting scratched, or not scratched, excuse me. Maybe he'll get scratched later, who really knows? But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Huberdeau getting benched. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.